until the age of 13, until the age of 13, you are not obligated to fulfill all of the mitzvot for a man and 12 years old for a woman. Now, but that also reminds me to tell you, Rabotai, that once you're 13 years old, even though you don't see yourself as a grown man, once you're 12 years old, even though you don't see yourself as a grown woman, according to the Torah, you are fully grown. You are at an age where if you find a spouse, you should get married. Now, I know in today's society this sounds ridiculous. I told somebody in the shiur last night, why don't you get married? He said, I'm only 17. I said, that's perfectly fine. What's wrong? He looked at me funny. He said, what are you talking about? What do you think? I'm from Saudi Arabia or something? He said some type of funny comment. But it's not really funny. According to the Torah, you're a grown man. Now, why should you get married at such a young age? Because another one of those sins that the Yetzer Hara will entice boys and girls to do, even though they're really men and women, is to be intimate. Now, sometimes they're intimate with somebody else, sometimes they're intimate with themselves. Problem is, according to the Torah, if you're intimate for the purpose of pleasure without having giving the ability of actually reproduction, that means that you're wasting seed. And a person that dies without doing tshuva for wasting seed is also classified as one of the wicked people that go to Gehenom and does not leave. Now, I know that in today's world, this is practically an addiction, both in yeshivot as well as in public schools. And that's why, Baruch Hashem, we put out a lot of material about this subject. We teach quite a bit about it. It's definitely very difficult to overcome the addiction, but it's possible. And if you do it, you could be considered a tzaddik, like Yosef a tzaddik. That's what's called a tzaddik. Your tzaddik is not somebody who has a nice beard. Tzaddik is not somebody that has a big hat. Tzaddik is not somebody that read a lot of books. That's not tzaddik. Who's tzaddik? Tzaddik is somebody that protects his brit. That's tzaddik, according to the Torah. That's why Yosef a tzaddik was called Yosef a tzaddik, because he protected his brit. So now back to your question. For the first 13 years, a person is not obligated by all of the mitzvot. With the exception of wasting seed, he's not allowed. Everything else, if he fails, he doesn't get punished for it. If he violates Shabbat, he doesn't get punished for it. So Hashem gives him the inclinations that he was born with, which are animalistic inclinations, because that's part of the mission in this world. It's part of the mission in this world is for you to learn about your weaknesses and overcome them. The Yetzer Tov can be 500 times more powerful than the Yetzer Hara, which is the reason why it doesn't need to be in you from day one. The Yetzer Tov can have 500 times more power, if you allow it, than the Yetzer Hara, even though sometimes it seems like it's the opposite. But the Yetzer Tov, in reality, is useless to you when you're still a baby, because for the first almost 10 years of your life, if you're a normal kid, you don't think about evil. Little kids don't think about evil. Little 6-7-year-old kid doesn't think about killing people, doesn't think about raping, doesn't think about pedophilia, doesn't think about stealing. If you find a kid that's 8 years old stealing, he's not stealing because he's trying to hurt somebody. He's stealing simply because he doesn't understand that there are consequences for taking something that doesn't belong to you. So kids do not have the brain power, the brain capacity at that age to even understand the difference between right and wrong. So even though they have the Yetzer Hara in them, the Yetzer Hara is not at its full force. Yetzer Hara doesn't go to its full force until you also have the Yetzer Tov. So when you have Yetzer Hara that goes into full force, you also have the Yetzer Tov, and that Yetzer Tov can be 500 times more powerful. The other reason is also because the Yetzer Hara, believe it or not, even though the Yetzer Hara gets a head start, he's in you before the Yetzer Tov, he's still deficient. He still has he's still behind. And the reason why is because for the 9 months that you were inside your mother, you had a malach, you had an angel teach you the entire Torah. And the Torah is the potion that destroys the Yetzer Hara. So on day one, when Yetzer Hara meets you, he just meets you. You don't even know what sins are. You're still crying about getting a binky. That's all you want in life. You want a binky, you want to eat, you want to drink, you want somebody to change your diaper. That's all you know. But technically, inside you, you have the potion to become the biggest tzaddik in the world, to destroy the Yetzer Hara himself. So again, it's there, but it's not fully implemented. It's like having a nuclear weapon, but you're not allowed to press the button because you're afraid of political issues.